Making YouTube videos started to come at a cost to my health.
Health is very underrated. No, Arun, no, stop this. Arun Maini, also known as Mrwhosetheboss, actually my favorite tech YouTuber, is set out on a weight loss plan. Let us look at where he is right, where he is wrong. Let us look at where he can improve. So without much ado, let's get right into it.
Making YouTube videos started to come at a cost to my health. It's kind of an embarrassing video to make, but I think it's finally time to explain to you how I've managed to get myself into a bit of a hole. But then also at the same time, how I'm going to try to use technology, use the tech that I'm surrounded by all the time to get myself out, to transform my life. And I want to start now.
Great call. He's not only talking about his body weight, he's talking about health in general.
Okay, here's the thing with me. For the last few years, I've pretty much concentrated my entire being on just one thing and one thing only, and that is increasing the average watch time on my videos. If people are watching my videos for longer, to me, that is the clearest indication that I'm making better videos, that I'm improving at my craft, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. But this constant push to optimize all the time, it's starting to damage me.
I can actually totally identify with him, although at a much smaller scale. Recording these videos takes hardly any time. But the planning and the research takes a hell lot of time. And not to forget the editing. And editing is always a learning process and you're always trying to improve on your older edit.
When you click on a video on this channel now, let's say this one I made about the 11 fastest gadgets, it's not what you think it is. These stilts, I was genuinely scared for my life while using them. I still went through with the race in the video because, I knew it would make it a satisfying piece of content, but just for that 20-second segment, I'd spent 4 hours the night before, terrified, like falling between the various walls of my house, learning how to use them, just trying to make sure that I wasn't going to end up with a concussion.
This is definitely something I wouldn't do. Definitely not conducive to your good health. He should put a disclaimer here.
I was pushing harder than ever to deliver the video with more energy because the stats are telling me that that's making it more enjoyable. And then on top of that, every single video, we're just continuously trying to top ourselves when it comes to the editing. The long and short of it is this. I feel like I'm now spending every waking minute of my life sitting and working. Whenever we film, I'm pushing myself harder than I ever have done to deliver, and then literally downing honey and ginger afterwards to soothe my throat because it hurt so much. I'm falling asleep next to my laptop, and I'm just getting really little, really poor quality sleep because my mind just will not switch off anymore. And then I'm fueling myself with caffeine and junk food the next day just so I can keep going.
What I see happening is that he's stuck in this circle of stats. YouTube on their back end give you a lot of stats on which you can improve. These are basically just markers to tell you, okay, we can improve on the watch time, we can improve on audience retention, etc., etc. A lot of people take it a little bit too obsessively, and then you get stuck in this circle of working harder than last time. Yes, work, and I'm sure I enjoy doing this, he enjoys doing it himself. We are here in the end of the day just spending our time on this earth. And our human brain is programmed not to only do one thing but to enjoy different experiences. This is where you require a break from the mundane, a break from your work, although you enjoy it.
I feel like I'm accelerating my own aging process. This could just be a coincidence, but a year ago, I did not have a single grey hair. But with my current levels of stress, they're just popping out everywhere.
Although stress is a contributing factor to greying hair, although it is scientifically not yet concretely proven, the bigger part in graying of hair comes from genetics and of course age.
I would say the single biggest impact is on my body. I took this a couple of weeks ago because I've always had a really skinny build, but for the first time in my entire life, I've actually felt like I've let myself go a bit, and that's a scary thought. This is really hard for me to share. I always hold myself to a really high standard in everything that I do, and clearly I've not quite mastered the balance.
He's so right here. Health is very underrated. You may have all the money in the world, but if you do not have health, there is nothing. Remember the cliched saying, health is wealth. Trust me on this. Once you get sick and fall in the circle of disease, all the wealth you have will be taken away by some healthcare provider.
I made a decision that nothing is more important than health. Money doesn't mean anything. Growth doesn't mean anything. Even my favorite watch time doesn't mean anything if I'm not healthy enough to appreciate it. So, this is the challenge. Right now I am 84.5 kilos. I have a 21.3% body fat.
Dude, how do you know it's 21.3 exactly? I'm guessing you used one of those bathroom body impedance scales. These scales are not accurate at all. In fact, there is no proper way to accurately measure your body fat percentage. The best way could be dissection, if you are willing to volunteer. But in the end of the day, it does not matter. It just matters that you want to reduce your excess body fat percentage to a reasonable level, and you want to get healthier. That is all what matters. It is very difficult to say that 21.3% is your actual body fat percentage. And by your picture, it looks like a little bit more than that.
And I can do about 7 decent quality pull-ups before it starts to look like I have a problem.
Also, these are not pull-ups. This may be half pull-ups, quarter pull-ups. Anyways, kudos on you. At least you are trying.
So, I want you to give me 3 months. Let's set a date. Let's say the 31st of August. And on that day, I will post a follow-up video where I will have to show you how much of a transformation I've managed to make.
Okay, this is very important. After 3 months, then what? Are you going to go back to your old ways, which first of all made you unhealthy and made you gain body weight? You should always have a clear exit strategy. What you should be looking at is to develop a skill set. Today, in today's world, if you notice, we are surrounded by calories. It is up to us to develop this skill set on how we can control this intake of calories. This is not something which can happen in a time-bound manner. Some people imbibe skills faster than others. You can compare this to, let's say, learning an instrument like a guitar. A couple of people in the class, let's say there are 5 people in the class. Some people will learn the guitar very quickly, let's say a couple of them. A couple of them might take 3-4 months to learn that same level of skill. And one person could be me, I have no ear for music, who might not learn it ever. So it is very difficult even to give a time-bound restriction to learn a certain skill.
Here's how we're going to do it. Yeah, I made another one of those timelines. This is basically my 10-point action plan that I'm going to start literally the minute that we turn the camera off. So number 10, I'm going to switch from sitting all day with my computer to standing for a few hours. I've just set up this adjustable desk that can transition between both states, because apparently just the action of standing can burn hundreds of calories per day. So we will see if this turns out to be a game changer.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Standing could possibly burn just a few extra calories than you sitting down. I absolutely do not agree with Arun on this. Yes, you would burn those few extra calories because if you notice, when you're standing, your thighs are in a contracted state, therefore consuming a little bit extra calories. But what is more important is if you're standing, you increase your NEAT by a little bit. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. These are involuntary physical movements we do. For example, now when I'm talking to you, I'm moving my hands, blinking my eyes, etc. These movements expend quite a few calories. So for example, if I'm standing, it will be easier for me to reach out to something if I want to pick it up, and therefore increasing my NEAT naturally. But while I'm sitting like I'm right now, I probably will slide my chair and therefore expend a fewer calories. So by using a standing desk, essentially you are improving your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And it is not by a few hundred calories, it's just by a few calories.
While I do that, I've also got this weird looking fluid stance board, which, because it requires balance, will also keep my core active while I type away.
Not practical, not practical. You're probably going to use it for less than half a day.
Number 8 it's even more important, I think. I get so absorbed in my work that I completely forget to drink water. And honestly, like having more water is world's simplest life hack. It makes your brain work better, it makes your body work better, it even boosts your metabolism to help you burn more fat.
Wrong again, Arun. It makes your brain work better, it makes your body work better. Your body is made up of 70% of water. So it is but natural that you want to replenish it on a regular basis. It stands truer when the climate is warmer. In warmer climates, people are generally, you can say, even chronically dehydrated. Water makes your brain work better, as we said, allows your body to carry nutrients to various parts of the body. Your blood gets thinner and therefore reduces the risk of untoward incidents such as strokes, helps control your blood pressure. And remember this, without water, your kidneys cannot function. Your kidneys flush out toxins from your body. So it is necessary that you regularly hydrate yourself. A very important point, Arun.
So, for the next 3 months, I'm going to try this water reminder app that's going to ping me every single time it thinks that I should drink. And when I do drink, I'm going to use one of these error bottles, which are scented to try and trick your brain into thinking that you're drinking flavoured water, even when you're actually just drinking normal water. Just because it might be fun.
That app is actually quite a good idea. You should try it too. I used to use it quite a few years ago. And as far as the flavoured water, no problem, as long as it is liquid.
Now, as you've seen, a big part of my problem revolves around sleep. I'm sleeping late and I'm sleeping poorly. So we're going to try a few things. The first, and this is going to sound like I'm 10 years old again, but I'm going to start to give myself a bedtime. I feel like this whole mindset of I will not sleep until this video is perfect is not giving my body the chance to get into a rhythm, which I feel like it is asking me for.
I totally agree with you here, Arun. Your body is in a constant state of wear and tear, and it is where you sleep that your body repairs itself. Not only this, we all have stresses all throughout our lives. Life is such in the world we are living in. When you sleep is where you de-stress yourself. Stress is a major cause of high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, lowers your immune system, and more importantly, when we talk about better health and losing excess body fat, it all starts with sleep and water. Then we can talk about the rest of the things. If you don't have a sleep and water in place, then talking about the rest becomes immaterial. Also, I have noticed, and you might have noticed it too, if you do not sleep adequately, the next day you get up hungrier than usual. Actually, you're just feeling out. You're not feeling good. And therefore you reach out to food to make yourself feel better. And most likely these foods are salty foods and processed foods, which are not conducive to your good health. And also they are high in calories. Also sometimes we may be thirsty and our brain confuses that we are hungry. And instead of reaching out for a glass of water, we tend to snack on something.
For this period, every single day, I'll be in bed at 11 p.m. And then the other thing that links to this is no matter what, to leave my laptop alone, to stop working 10 minutes before that 11 p.m. bedtime, and then to use that 10 minutes to practice meditation. I've never properly done it, but I have heard a lot of good things about the Headspace app.
I haven't heard of this app myself, but it sounds to me a little bit counterintuitive. You're trying to get yourself off gadgets, at the same time you're using a gadget to meditate. Anyways, I'm going to try this Headspace app next.
And to track my improvement, I've just set up, and I didn't even know this was a thing until a couple of months ago, a smart mattress by the company 8 Sleep. So this thing is not just fitted with sensors to be able to monitor sleep, but it also has a pump right here, which can circulate water through the mattress to adjust your body temperature and supposedly improve it. So based on last night's reading, this is basically telling me that I have a sleep fitness score of 28%. If you look at the sleep graph over here, it's telling me that I basically spent half the night awake, which is, it's not good.
You don't need graphs and metrics to tell you if your sleep is good or not. So how much exactly should you sleep? See, my advice is very simple. You go and sleep at a reasonable hour. Don't keep yourself awake till the middle of the night like a cockroach. Go to sleep at a reasonable hour. And when you wake up, make it a habit not to wake up with an alarm. If you need an alarm to wake you in the morning, that just means that you have to sleep earlier. When you wake up without an alarm, refreshed and rejuvenated, that is when your sleep is adequate.
Now, in terms of food, I'm not about to start taking creatine or weight loss supplements. My plan is to go all natural, but to keep it simple, because I don't want to spend all day meal planning. So it's basically going to be a case of swapping out the pizzas and the milk chocolates and the bubble teas, as good as they are, for fruits, veg, nuts, and dark chocolate.
Great going, Arun. Great choice. Fabulous. Only I would be very careful about the nuts, because nuts are inherently very high in calories. So don't overdo the nuts. Dark chocolate, white chocolate, brown chocolate, doesn't matter. If you like the chocolate, eat the chocolate in moderate amounts.
But what I've been neglecting more than anything else is exercise. I feel like when the pandemic first started and everything went remote, I just stopped moving enough. Everything is done while sitting in a chair at home now, which is, it's very efficient. But it just means that all that going out and about that used to happen naturally now has to be a conscious effort. So to get around that, I'm going to make absolutely sure that I'm getting my steps in. So every single day without fail, I will do a 30-minute uphill fast walk on a treadmill.
You got a nice gym there. But it is spring outside, why don't you just go outside for a walk? Enjoy the fresh air. Make your walking more interesting, other than a chore to collect your steps. Also, please note, walking is not exercise. It is keeping you active.
And then the plan is to complement that with 3-4 workouts where I really push myself. What I'm going for here is progressive overload, where for each exercise that I do, I'm going to start with 8 reps, but then every workout increase that number by 2 reps each time. And then to keep the whole thing sustainable, every time I pass 12 reps on any particular exercise, then the next time that I do it, I will increase the weight, but then dial the reps back down to 8 again.
Excellent, Arun. Progressive overload is how you go. And that is exactly how you create progressive overload for a beginner. However, you need to work on your form.
I'm also going to test out the slender tone belt, which can apparently strengthen your abs by sending electrical impulses into them to make them contract. We'll see if that works.
Hell no!
Plus, this vibration plate, you just stand on it whilst you're also doing other things, and it, plain and simple, makes your body work harder.
No, Arun, no, stop this. Do you not think if people had these gadgets to get their abs stronger and stand on something to lose body weight, don't you think that there would be more people roaming around naked with their six-pack showing and their biceps that huge? Well, there are quite a few things that Arun is doing right, and a few things I do not quite agree with. He's got his eye on the water. He's got his eye on the sleep. The most important things. He's decided to replace the processed foods with more natural foods. Excellent. He's decided to move more. He's decided to include strength training into his routine. Awesome stuff. Keep it up. However, on the downside, I see that he has taken quite a few tasks to do at once. Look, you consider yourself that you just joined school. You are in your first year in school, little toddler. If I give you a whole bunch of subjects, let's say physics, chemistry, biology, geography, everything at the same time, in your first year in school, your mind is going to go boof and you're going to achieve nothing. So what if he just worked on water and sleep, maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe 3, until it became his habit. And then he could work on going to the next task, probably moving some more. Do it for a couple of weeks, then add in your natural foods, replace your processed foods with more natural foods. The things I don't support at all are all those weird gadgets where you stand to lose body weight, and then all those things which you put around your stomach which sells in electrical impulses. Those electrical impulse things work for people who are debilitated. It is used as a part of physiotherapy, and it is not used for a healthy individual for you to lose body weight. Besides, spot reduction is not possible. I'm sure Arun in 3 months is going to hit his goals. However, Arun also has a big following. I think he's got 10 million subscribers now. He might set the wrong impression amongst millions of people that he has hit his goals because of these stupid gadgets. Instead, he's hit his goals because of his hard work. Subscribe. Signing out, Dr. Rohan Fonseca.